Well, last week, in case you hadn't noticed it, there was a fuel price increase. But there was hardly a whisper of comment. I wonder if this means that we're becoming inured to pain, to economic pain. Because this does actually mean more economic pain. It will adversely affect this fuel price rise. It will adversely affect every single wage earner and make even more desperate the unemployed. You know, in turn, this will also fuel crime and violence. It's a truism that societies, more egalitarian societies with full employment, there is little crime. And a fuel price rise, no matter where it is, quickly feeds through into the rest of the economy. And taxis are a classic example. They happen to be also still the major means of commuter transport. And as the commuters often complain, irrespective of whether the fuel price goes up or down, once taxi fares rise, they seldom, if ever, come down. Because food also and other goods are trucked from place to place and have to be, this too is going to feed through in terms of additional cost which we, the consumers, always pay. This is the reality of our society, along with the disproportionate wealth that is evident and the corruption that is equally evident, and that also leads to frustration, to anger and to violence. A good grassroots example of this disparity, I think, is within the municipal sector, where workers who do that smelly, dirty and essential job of collecting and dispersing rubbish are paid a median wage of about 72,000 Rand a year. In contrast, a councillor in the same municipality would get at least 450,000 Rand a year. That's one of the reasons, I think, for the bloodshed that we're seeing in a number of the regions at the moment. But it is a reflection of economic despair. And this should make us realize the nonsense that any job is better than no job, this idea that is put forward particularly by free marketeers. And we should also realize that this is why it is so correct for the labour movement to continue to fight for decent work and a living wage. Now, over this past week, I've again looked at some of the lowest paid workers, those who work in the domestic sector, in hospitality, on farms and in the forests. It's very interesting, very educational to have a look at that, because these are the lowest paid whose wages are determined by the Labour Minister. It's a sectoral determination, ministerial determination, and it's an eye-opener. This is still poverty wages. And this is what I'm going to look at, I think, in my column, my Inside Labour column, which you can access on this platform, Fin24, tomorrow, and a version of which will appear in the City Press business section on Sunday. In the meantime, let's hear from you, because I personally feel that the 3,500 Rand minimum wage that the government proposes bringing in March is only going to fuel the fires of discontent. I may be wrong, I hope I'm wrong. But anyhow, let's hear from you at editor@fin24.com. That's editor@fin24.com. And for this week, that's all from me. Cheers.